Any swamp is associated with a creepy and scary place. In any fairy tale, a swamp is a haven for evil creatures. In horror movies and fantasy, swamps are the territory of all sorts of anomalies: ghosts, bloodthirsty, maniacs, and of course, various creatures. In fact, modern swamps are the habitat of cute, giant reptiles that do not descend to eat you. All kinds of attractive poisonous creatures that are sure to try to bite you to death, and lots of cute insects that won't let you go until they suck up 5 liters of blood. Let's find out that animals, birds and amphibians lived in the swamps from the Triassic period to the present day. Once upon a time, in the Triassic, there was an animal called the Lystrosaurus, about 200 million years ago. Lystrosaurus fossils were found in southern Africa, the European part of Russia, China, Mongolia, India. Lystrosaurus was a descendant herbivore. In the absence of predators and herbivorous competitors, Lystrosaurus was considered one of the most common creatures. It's hard to believe, but up to 95% of all land animals at this time were Lystrosaurus. In front limbs of Lystrosaurus were powerful and strong, much stronger than the hind limbs. Lystrosaurus had large claws which served for digging holes. The structure of his shoulders and hips testifies about a very specific gait and the manner of movement of Lystrosaurus, shuffling. Lystrosaurus lived in burrows that it was constantly digging. Territory of these animals were often swampy areas. Over tens of thousands of years, the Lystrosaurus lifestyle made it able to cope with the oxygen-depleted atmosphere. It was the oxygen that was leaking in the swamps because of the frequent fumes that were emitted from the constantly moist soil. These animals had a strong immunity in such places that other animals, for example, could not do. Lystrosaurus, as the largest member of genus, was able to eat hardy vegetation. Some of the species could eat both hard parts of tree trunks and soft ferns. And most interestingly, there were only 2 predators capable of hunting Lystrosaurus in the early Triassic. This explains the surge in the population of these dinosaurs on the planet. During the Triassic period, many new species of different animals emerged. Most of them were marine animals, but it was transition of marine animals to land animals that enabled many creatures to live both on land and in water. And of course, the marsh became the most convenient place for many prehistoric creatures to live and thrive. The Pastosuchus was one of the large carnivorous reptiles in the late Triassic. Adults reach about 1 meter and height 4 meters in length from nose to tip of tail, and its weight could range from 250 to 300 kilograms. It had a massive skull with dagger teeth. The Pastosuchus lived in floodplains of rivers and lakes, but it did not distant marshes as a place of residence at all. Pastosuchus lived in the tropical environment. The humid and warm region consisted of fjords. Pastosuchus was one of the largest animals in this ecosystem and preyed on herbivores such as Triassic and Typhorax. The territory of Africa, on the other hand, was a real haven for a huge number of prehistoric lizards. The hot climate favored interesting species of dinosaurs, both herbivores and carnivores. One of the most famous predators of prehistory, Spinosaurus, was also an inhabitant of lakes, rivers and swamps. A real swamp creature which inspired panic absolutely all inhabitants of prehistoric Africa. It was rightly considered a master of African reservoirs, and there was almost no one who could resist this monster. Another representative of African territories is Ceratosaurus. They could not live permanently in the desert, so they tried to stay in wetlands or near rivers. The carnivorous Ceratosaurus lived on Earth about 150 million years ago. During the late Jurassic, it was similar Allosaurus, but much smaller. Ceratosaurus was easily distinguished from other dinosaurs by a small horn on its head and two horn-like projections above its eyes. Thanks to them, the dinosaur got its name, which in Greek means horned lizard. Volcanodon was a large herbivorous dinosaur with an elongated medium-length neck, a small head and a powerful tail. Its life is what is now South Africa, at the very beginning of the Jurassic period, some 200 million years ago. It was one of the earliest dinosaurs whose bones were found in Zimbabwe. The name Volcanodon means volcano tooth in Latin. This nickname of the dinosaur was due to the fact that its remains were first found in a small sandstone between two frozen lava flows. It moved on four limbs but could rise up on its hind legs to reach the upper branches on trees. The Barosaurus was a large plant-eating dinosaur that lived on Earth about 150 million years ago, during the Jurassic period. It was one of the largest lizards that ever lived on our planet. According to scientists' calculations, the Barosaurus heart alone weighed more than a ton. Externally, this dinosaur, similar to its close relative Diplodocus, only its neck was longer and its tail shorter. Another inhabitant of Africa was Megalosaurus. Megalosaurus was an active predator that preyed on ancient Stegosaurus and sauropods, and if it managed to find the remains of already dead animals, it was not squeamish about them either. That is, it was a scavenger like many large theropods. Water was also a vital resource for this predator. So, it was impossible to find a bigger place than a swamp or a lake. Plus, there was all sorts of prey for the Megalosaurus. The 9-meter-long predator was also considered a master of rivers and swamps. Allosaurus was also one of the most fearsome carnivorous dinosaurs of the Jurassic period. It easily overtook, grabbed and butchered its prey, digging into it with claws and dozens of sharp teeth. Apart from food, these dinosaurs had little interest in anything. When the Allosaurus chose its prey, it had almost no chance of escape. Stegosaurus appeared on Earth about 150 million years ago. They were huge herbivorous dinosaurs with small heads, slaty backs, and tails that had formidable spines on them. Stegosaurus inhabited both forests and open areas. The swamp areas of the forest were ideal for this animal species. Powerful fumes created a favorable climate for these animals, wearing a huge crest on their backs and powerful weapons on their tails. Carcharodontosaurus lived at the end of the Cretaceous period about 100 million years ago in northern Africa. The remains have been found in Algeria, Morocco, Egypt and Niger. They lived in prehistoric evergreen forests surrounded by swamps and lakes and preyed on smaller predators and herbivorous dinosaurs. A predator 12 meters long posed a threat to all the inhabitants all the time. Because of Carcharodontosaurus' huge size, no one dared to attack it, but the carnivorous dinosaur itself feared almost no one. It could hunt the cubs of large sauropods, take food from smaller predators, and eat carrion. Only adult sauropods could fight back against this bloodthirsty carnivorous lizard. In the pursuit of prey, Carcharodontosaurus sometimes wandered into the territory of other large carnivores, such as Spinosaurus and Carnotaurus. Then there were conflicts between the carnivorous dinosaurs. The hungrier the predators and the larger the prey, the more likely the dispute was. Sometimes these unpleasant encounters ended in fights. Scientists even found of unusual puncture in the skull of one Carcharodontosaurus, which appears to have been left by the tooth of unattack defended Spinosaurus. Thank you for watching this issue to the end. Like it and leave a comment. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so, and also click on the bell not to miss new and interesting releases from our channel.